Hi, I'm just a girl, but I saw a movie trailer that I liked and now we're gonna review it. Most recently, I saw the trailer for Poor Things and I was intrigued immediately because the visuals, the concept seemed very interesting even though I didn't know exactly what was going on. It's starring Emma Stone, Willem Dafoe, Mark Ruffalo. I hope his name's Mark Ruffalo. The Hulk. The Hulk's Mark Ruffalo, right? Along with a few others. But I just got back from the movie theater and now I want to review it without any spoilers. But let me know if you like this video and you would want me to do like a more of a deep dive, and obviously with spoilers. So let's just get into it. So Poor Things is a black comedy fantasy film. And no, black comedy doesn't just mean black people or black and white. It means kind of like dark humor, but also some of it's in black and white. And fun enough, it's based off of a 1992 novel of the same name by Alyssa Gray. I am also butchering that name, but it's fine. But I find that fun. It's an adaptation, which I didn't know off of first rip when I saw the trailer. So if you're a reader, maybe this book might be for you. Or me. I'm trying to read more, so. The main plot, without giving it all away, is it follows Bella Baxter, which is played by Emma Stone, and she's a young Victorian woman, and we follow through her life. And from the trailer, you can kind of see she's an experiment by Willem Dafoe, which she refers to as God, but he's Dr. Godwin, but I think it's fun that she keeps referring to him as God because in a way he kind of plays kind of like a godlike person within the film. The fun part about this is I went in thinking it would be more of a Frankenstein kind of monster sort of thing, but the way she becomes his experiment is pretty interesting. You find out pretty soon at the beginning of the film how she comes to be his experiment, but throughout the movie you ponder whether this is ethical, unethical, moral, just, but it's kind of this background noise within your mind, which makes the movie pretty interesting. I liked this kind of different approach of how she came to be his experiment. Boom, we are in the movie. So the first thing I want to talk about, which immediately drew me from the trailer, is the cinematography. It's beautiful. It almost reminds me of something so surreal and so obscure and strange and whimsical. It doesn't feel like real life. You can see that they took the time to make it almost feel otherworldly, even though it is of this world, so to speak. It almost has that Willy Wonka, Alice in Wonderland kind of approach, but within this secular world and what that would look like. So in the beginning of the film, it's majority black and white. So it gives you this old-timey feel to kind of set you in the mindset of this character and these people. And shots that they choose are very different than what you would see in a blockbuster film. How different characters are portrayed when they walk in, what they zoom in on, how the camera is set up is in very odd places, which I think put you in this world even more because it's so obscure, it's so weird, it's so strange that you almost feel somewhat like, in certain aspects, like a fly on the wall observing this, like almost like you are also a person observing this experiment of a movie. And I find that really fun. In a lot of major films, I don't feel like they take that many risks in how they choose to direct or their shot list. So this gave me new ideas for certain things, and it also showed me that a film can't be made in one way. I think in recent films, a lot of things are played very safely. So this was like a time where it almost is so strange that it really, really worked for the film to put you in that world and make sure you are aware of what you are about to witness at the very beginning, even though it's just in black and white at the very start. It was really unique and like a breath of fresh air to see something like this because you could really see the creativity shine and how not only did the subject matter portray in the storytelling, but it portrayed in how what you see physically and how you are opening up to different characteristics of different people or different atmosphere within the movie, in the environment of the whole thing. If that makes sense, I hope. Now, let's get to the part when it's not in black and white. The colors were so vivid. Like, it's not colors you would see in real life. Like, they were definitely working on that saturation a little bit more than what you would see on a day-to-day basis, but it was so beautiful and so vivid. The whole story is it's a pretty dark, whimsical slice of life tale, but it's funny, and I really like this juxtaposition that they did where the story is pretty dark. Even though it's like this fantasy whimsical tale, the subject matter is it's not made for kids, you guys. So it's almost kind of beautiful that it started off black and white, and as the story progresses, we see all these beautiful colors, these deep purples, these muted kind of sunsetty oranges, and it almost made you remember not to forget how not black and white life is. Like, they wanted to hammer in that life is not black and white. No matter how far you are on the spectrum of emotion, there's just so much in between that we're able to see, whether you want to digest it or not. And I like that. I like that a lot. Most of the movie looked like a Pinterest board or like a mood board that you're trying to figure out what to do on your next photo shoot. It was like a Vogue cover for a lot of it. Speaking of Vogue cover, the outfits, specifically the women's outfits, I really enjoyed them. I think I liked most of Bella Baxter's outfits, the main character. I enjoyed a lot of how they put together the colors and kind of the shapes and silhouettes of the pieces that she wore. Let's get to pacing and structure. Now, the movie is broken up into segments, kind of like how Jordan Peele did with Nope and broke it into sections of the horses. Her life is broken up into different sectors on what she goes through in this journey of self-realization or self-actualization, whatever you ever want to call it, however you want to call going through your life. Throughout the movie, the pacing is pretty leveled. There's no like extreme climactic. Well, I'm not going to say that. There's things that happen that definitely insinuate certain things to happen, but I feel like there's no extreme traumatic inciting event. The overall movie feels kind of like a slice of life anime, but in a very dark tone. And it kind of just feels like we're just going through her life as you would go through anyone's life. And there's ups and downs and trials and tribulations. And usually I would get bored of that and tired of that, considering this is a 2-hour and 21-minute movie. But I found myself really intrigued to figure out what's gonna happen next, because I really just started getting interested in the character Bella Baxter and just how she operated. She was just such an intriguing and interesting character. It made me want to learn from her, and through her naivety and through her insightfulness and wisdom and her almost analyzation of life, almost looking at life kind of like an experiment of her own and figuring out who and how and what people, humanity she is and what that looks like. And even though it was just kind of just going through life, I just wanted to see what she would do next. I was intrigued, and I found myself not getting bored throughout the whole movie. There were just moments in time where she was just living. It's just the way she lived was what made it so encapsulating. I hope that is the right word. And I think because of that, it really showed how the opposition, aka her supporting characters, operated. It made that very ever clear. When you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. You just like one of these and not like the other. But if you really are into like traditional cinema or blockbuster hits where certain beats are hit at certain moments, you may find it hard to get through this movie. It's definitely obscure. It's definitely strange. I keep using that word, but it's obscure as hell. It's a strange, whimsical journey that I really enjoyed to go on, because I also really love the message that it had and how it left me feeling at the very end. I felt good. I felt hopeful. The movie made me feel hopeful no matter how dark humanity can get. I enjoyed this movie. I truly did. I'd give it an 8 out of 10, maybe a 9 out of 10. I don't know, maybe a 90% if I was a Rotten Tomatoes critic. I wasn't sure if it was gonna be just pretty and the plot would just be fucking weird. But it was weird. It was weird and I liked it. I enjoyed it. We don't get to heavily explore a lot of the characters that much. That's the one downside, I would say. We really do focus on Bella and a few minor characters, but not as much as we focus on Bella. So certain characters, they kind of come in and you're just like, okay, I guess. But we all know people like certain characters, so they feel more tropey, if anything, like they fit into a character type. I will say, I think that's what the movie wanted to do with certain characters and wanted it to feel like for the movie, because again, it feels not real, but real at the same time. Yeah, you can watch it if you want. I would say do it. I'd say why not? But don't watch it with someone who don't like weird movies, because it's weird.